things aren't meant for you to receive immediately. Some things take time to receive. And that's why I say results are delayed. Like, I believe we can learn a lot about ourselves in the space of waiting for whether it's getting back a test or, seeing if something becomes successful, or, if you were to make a clothing line and see who would receive or who would actually purchase your clothes. Like, these are timely time periods in which you have to be very prepared, very patient, and expect a moment of delay. And I think it's so hard to not see anything else other than immediate. We gravitate towards immediacy. We gravitate towards just comfort and all these things, and we don't take time to be patient. If we're more patient in this life, a lot of things will make more sense. Patience is definitely a virtue, and it only allows for things to attract. Like, without patience, nothing can attract, because there's just a time where the thing has to come to you. So it's not you're making the effort to go to that attraction. You're because when you're chasing that attraction, it's not really attracting. You're trying to force something that's supposed to come to you. So I think we gotta get in this space of letting things attract, understanding that your action is at one point, but then the results is at another point. Your action and result don't fall on the same date. I think we want that to happen so bad because how quick in our everyday lives of, if I pick up something, I have something in my hand. Like, those are like the immediate action to result, When there's a result that you're looking for, and it's a more external variable versus internal variable, it takes a little bit longer, right? So I think it's so messed up that, we expect something so fast, and, not knowing that things that always come fast isn't necessarily great all the time. So we have to kind of be cautious and just be aware, because, once you do get great at doing something, results do start to become faster because you become more patient in the process of it. I always talk about how the first hill is one of the hardest hills to overcome, because you have no prior experience to getting over that hump. So once you do get over that hump, you have the confidence and the patience to wait even longer, knowing that I've gotten it before. Your biggest enemy can just be the amount of patience waiting for that first hill to overcome, and so it's you gotta be just understanding about how results are delayed, and get into the mindset of accepting that things take time. As much as you are learning about something, as much as you want something so bad, the ego of wanting something so bad can definitely be detrimental, because we want to control the outcome, but the outcome is far beyond what we can hold. The outcome is attracted. It's not created. And so we have to understand that we can nurture the outcome, but we can't control the outcome. Once you understand the differences between nurture and control, you become just better with with understanding outcomes. And like, you know, it's been always been one of the hardest things for me is like waiting for that outcome, waiting for, does this song get to this point, you know, or, you know, because you like, man, I put so much time and effort into it, and, you know, you think that this song should do a very good, and it doesn't always turn out like that. So it's like, you have to understand where you are in life, and then you got to understand, you know, the gravity that you pull in order for things to attract. So, you know, I feel like as human beings, it's like we, you know, the more and more better we become at a skill, the better the outcomes attract. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you're great at dribbling a basketball, like, because you put so much time and effort into it, like, you're far more likely to get a better outcome than a person that just started dribbling a basketball, you know? And it's just the time and preparation and the refining stages of how it is to, whether it's dribble basketball or just honing a skill, like, those are the most important moments. Is like when you can just hone in on a skill, the probability increases, you know, the probability, like you always can improve the probability, but you can't control the outcome. So it's like you have to find comfort in the probability versus controlling the outcome, because that's something that you can never do, versus something that you can always influence. You get me? You can always influence the probability of something, right? You know, whether it's based on skill, you know, livelihood, health, all these things, but you can never actually have total control over the outcome. So we got to start understanding that, like, outcomes are attracted, you know, and all we can do in this time and in this life is, what can we do to position and create avenues so that the outcome is naturally attracted, not in a controlling way, but in a probability way. And you know, I think we gotta just like get to that point. And I know me, like, it's taking a hard time at times. Like, that's why I know I'm not perfect, because like, when you're just very understanding of oneself, like, it's like, all right, what, you know, why hasn't my world changed, you know? But you have to understand that, like, things take time. There might be things that you need to learn before reaching certain points, you know, and they always talk about how the journey is the most important thing of anything in life. It's like the embarking of a journey. It's not necessarily the outcome, and because once you get the outcome, it's gonna be right there. Oh, cool, take it. It's like, all right, what next? You know, and that can be very, you know, traumatic in the sense where it's like, you work so hard to get to an outcome, and now the outcome is here, you know, you don't have a way to pivot, you know. And I think, like, for me, it's like, it's always going to be the journey. It's always going to be like, all right, I'm happy because there's another journey to embark on, you know. And you know, you just have to keep that mentality to always keep yourself sharp. I just want to leave off with, times will always be challenging, and if you can withstand it, if you can find a way to always improve the probabilities, life might become a little bit easier. Peace.